Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a distinctive, rare, and delectable Rolex Cosmograph Daytona of the current generation, 6-digit reference 116509 in 18-karat gray gold, an 18-karat homogeneous white gold alloy that never needs to be plated with rhodium. It's made in Rolex's own foundry, just as the case, bracelet, and components are stamped and crafted in Rolex's own factory. On the wrist, it's what you expect. The Daytona shape hasn't changed much since 1988 with the original screw-down crown automatic winding chronometer chronograph, and you will find that 40 millimeters across the round of the case continues to obtain, not including crown, chronograph pushers, or crown guards. It remains a fairly slim watch at only 12.3 millimeters thick in this white gold iteration. There's a slope to the bezel as well as the sapphire that allows it to easily slide underneath any dress cuff. Now you will note the timepiece has a broad stance when you include the solid end links of the bracelet. Across the wrist, including the solid end links, this is a 51.9 millimeter span, but if you count only the lug-to-lug dimension of the watch, it's a more compact 47.7 millimeters across the wrist. And my 16 centimeter circumference wrist wears it well either way, but if you have a very small wrist, which is about 13.5 centimeters, you might want to consider putting this one on a strap. Now the timepiece does have a wonderful heft about it, first because Rolex has for some time used machined clasps, solid center links, and solid end links. Also because Rolex gives you a full white gold case back rather than a cheaper and lighter sapphire. So this is a 40, it feels more like a 42 or a 43 in terms of sheer mass and weight on the wrist. Let's get close now and give ourselves better resolution, as well as a little more light to enjoy proceedings. Now the timepiece has a glorious bracelet, polished down the center with satin flanks, and you'll note polished on the outer shoulders. On the underside you can see big gaps so you can vent the wrist, avoid pinching skin, avoid pinching hair. Thoughtfully made, very substantial, and the clasp itself is finished completely inside and out. All of a high polished finish on the inside, straight through polish with satin flanks and polished shoulders on the outside. Rolex manufacturing tolerances are superb, such that the clamshell actually fits flush laterally as well as vertically. Nicely made. The other feature, thoughtful and not universal to all Rolex models, but like the interior clasp finish and the straight through polish, a feature of premium Rolex watches is the 5mm Easy Link adjustment system. So it's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link. So you have the ability to make that change without having to risk your talent with a jeweler's school or a jeweler for that matter. No jeweler is required to make small adjustments. You will note that the timepiece on the wrist has a wonderful versatility about it, so you won't have to adjust your plans regardless of what you wear. Formal attire, casual, bathing suit, this watch is up for just about anything thanks to the screw-down crowns, and you'll note a triplock crown. Despite the fact that it's a 100-meter Rolex, it has 100 meters of hermeticity, and that's outstanding because for everything short of professional diving, you're going to find 100 meters is more than enough, and Rolex case's ability to withstand more than the rated depth is the worst kept secret in the industry. Solid case back with a polished flank circumferentially and a satin finished center. It caps the Rolex 4130 manufacture movement, which is inside the watch. So automatic winding, 44 joules, 3-day power reserve, 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features a vertical clutch and column wheel tandem. Now, assuming this watch is wound, I should be able to engage the vertical clutch system for your viewing pleasure. You can see that the vertical clutch allows that seconds hand to start without any jump or stagger. Moreover, the vertical clutch has no additional wear or tear tendencies on the movement, so if you like to have center seconds to match hours and minutes, you can just leave the chronograph running on the latest generation 4130 caliber Rolex Daytona. That's the advantage of the vertical clutch. The column wheel is a traditional function selector that makes the actuation crisp. You hear it, you feel it. Now, in terms of other functionality, there's a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance to create a high degree of shock resistance, an overcoil hairspring to allow the watch to keep excellent time in any position with respect to gravity, and that also helps the watch to achieve its chronometer status, tested in multiple positions by the Swiss COSC authorities. Finally, there is a Parachrom blue alloy that is used to compose that overcoil. It's an oxidized niobium zirconium that is highly anti-magnetic, so this watch resistant to gravity, shock, as well as magnetism, and robustly resistant to water. This is a full-featured sports and dress watch. Now you'll note the dial is unconventional. It's a gorgeous pebbly-grained opaline matte silver finish that has a little bit of an off-white quality to it, almost like a silver ivory melange. Now if you look closely, you can see that each of these numerals is raised above the plane of the dial. Each of these numerals is made of white gold. That's important because it's completely resistant to tarnishing and oxidation, and like the white gold hands on the watch and the golden chapter rings of the sub-registers, not to mention the Rolex coronet logo, it ensures long-wearing durability over generations for this dial. It's also a stunning composition. This is what's known as a Panda style dial, albeit with a few quirks. Of course, there are the oversized Arabic numerals, but also the splashes of red. Normally a Panda is a silver with black registers, but the red adds another gear to this watch. The script Daytona just below the cannon pinions, the junction of the hand, as well as in each of the sub-registers, beautifully balanced across the dial. Handsome, durable, versatile, and in white gold, rare. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona 116509. And we're back with the Rolex Cosmograph Daytona 116509. This dial really reaches its potential at night. A little bit unconventional, though quite comely by day. The watch is next level legible at night. See it and make it yours by the light of day on the Watchbox.